Couple of interesting things here locally, which I'm going to start off this week by talking about. First, what about Roger Barto? Of course, there was that whole circus about his trial, and now it looks like he's going to be spending time in prison, as apparently that whole thing with him being attacked by a toilet seat when he was locking up outside the Waterloo courthouse, he apparently staged everything. Why? As apparently he wanted to get a lifetime supply of painkillers. Well, you know, Mr. Barto, there's more cost-effective and legal ways to get painkillers. Why don't you try going to your doctor instead of somebody having to attack you with a toilet seat? Well, you know what, Mr. Barto? You defrauded and you also brought dishonor onto yourself, and also, the citizens of Seneca County trusted you to be a good judge, to temper justice with mercy. As D.A. Porsche says, it's a sad day in Seneca County when you got sentenced. Well, you know what? You got attacked by a toilet seat, but Mr. Barto, you're going into the crapper. And you know what? Somebody ought to flush you. Well, that's all I want to say about that. I'm going to say about another thing that may be happening with Seneca County. New York City may be bringing some of their trash up here. Yeah, Seneca Meadows has apparently entered into a deal to bring trash via train up here to Seneca Meadows for about 20 years. Apparently, it's a $3.3 billion deal. Oh, I just wonder. Thing is, do we need any more trash from New York City? Does Seneca Meadows need any more trash? Heck, when some prevailing winds come in, you know what kind of odor it produces? No wonder it's like that suburb of Buffalo that got its name from the odor. Pew. That's exactly what I say when that odor comes in from Seneca Meadows. And also, in another way, do we need any more trash from New York City? We already got trash from New York City and Albany. Mainly Governor Cuomo and some of his rules, especially the SAFE Act. And also, how much longer can Seneca Meadows keep going? How much higher does that unsightly hill have to go? Heck, that unsightly hill is visible from about miles around. Heck, you can even see it coming from Fayette or coming from Clyde or wherever. $3.3 billion, that's a lot of money. But do we need any more odors? Do we need any more headache? I can find better ways to raise money for the local economy. Mainly if Lago gets built and people start complaining about the quality of life that's going to be affected. Oh, I don't know. I guess one person's trash is another person's dream. And I'm going to go from that trash to another type of trash. All the trash that's being thrown against this poor Michigan punter. That was one of the wildest plays that I've seen in a lot of years. Michigan State beating Michigan on the final play of the game because the Michigan punter fumbled the ball, picked up, and Michigan State scored. And all the backlash that seems to have gone against this poor Michigan punter. So, a lot of the Michigan fans have taken to Twitter, taken to Facebook and everything with death threats against this poor guy. Well, you want to know something? Michigan fans, I know you live and breathe Wolverine football, but you gotta get a life. Because, look what this kid went through to be on the Michigan team. He's from Australia. He has a rugby and Australian rules football background. He only learned the American game a few years ago. He already has a bachelor's degree. And last year he got injured and one of the injuries was to his liver. He's already working on his master's degree. The thing is, this Michigan punter has accomplished more than what some of you yutzes who've taken to Twitter and made death threats and everything than you'll ever know. You know, everybody makes mistakes, and the whole Michigan team has rallied behind them, which they should. It was just a blunder, and I mean, heck, everybody makes blunders. But to all those Michigan fans, I mean, there's no way that they can take to Twitter, find identities, maybe charge everyone with all of these threats. But you know, Wolverine fans, get a life. And the one thing I have to say about teams losing, both Syracuse and Buffalo went into the crapper this past weekend. Heck, Buffalo couldn't stop the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, with his 34-21 defeat of the Bills. And I mean, the Red Rifle definitely is one of the top young quarterbacks. Every year he's been in the NFL, he's been in the playoffs. And he showed that Cincinnati is for real. And the Bengals are for real. They're 6-0 since the time that Boomer Esiason and a running back who had an awful shuffle dance named Ickey Woods was there. And of course, during that year, the Bills lost to him in the regular season and lost to him in the AFC Championship. But inconsistency seems to be what's following Buffalo. Heck, they win one week, then the next week they look like bums. Sal Majorana said it best. Same old Bills. And E.J. Manuel, you were supposed to be improved. Well, it looks like all that thing through training camp and what you showed in the preseason didn't exactly go so well in the regular season, does it? And I do want to say about Syracuse, boy, we've crashed with a thud, especially after that 3-0 start. Heck, we could have put Virginia away several times, especially Eric Dungy's highlight reel touchdown run, where he wanted to make like an acrobat crossing the goal line. Heck, I didn't know that one of the Flying Walendas had become an SU Orange. But whatever, it was all for naught. And you know what? It just seems to me that the seat is getting hotter under Scott Shafer. I mean, we've been following all his speeches and everything, especially his rah 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 style attitude. But you know, we're getting sick and tired of all your false promises and everything, Shaper. Looks as though, what have you done? It's starting to look like the G-Rob era has resurfaced. Syracuse can do something for a few games, but to sustain it, there's nothing. And you know what? Maybe it's going to be good riddance to you, Shaper. We can only take so much of this inconsistent play. With the schedule we got coming up, are we going to go bowling? I don't know. Personally, I don't think so. But I will say this. Anybody who watches me, look for me this Saturday in the Carrier Dome crowd when we play our old friends, the Pitt Panthers. But I will close by saying thank you, Minders, for not having another winless season. We did beat Marcus Whitman, but what's it get us? A spot in the Connors and Ferris Bowl. It seems as though that's our goal. Our goal should be a Section 5 championship. Yeah, I mean, my neighbor is the coach, but how much is Minders fans gonna take? We deserve better with our football team. I mean, sooner or later, we may be looking for a new coach. Well, I'm Ken Haas, and those are my rants for this week.